This is how you pour tea.
We're spilling all the tea today, honey.
Can we say that?
We kind of stopped abruptly last time, but y'all get over it.
Yeah, we'll be alright. You'll be alright.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna ask some random questions, and they both can answer. One can answer, or I may even have an answer, because it may be a question that I'm burning to know what.
Mm-hmm.
I would say.
So green and usually on Wednesday. Is that the question?
Yes.
Okay. That's the answer.
Yes. What you said. Okay. What are you most afraid of?
I am most afraid of dying before I get it all done, which actually is a misnomer because you never get there. It's a journey, so I have to be, ooh, that's another thing to forgive. Holy cow. I didn't even realize that was there, but I am, if I was afraid of anything, it is, because for me, fear is our mechanism to, number one, not understand your own greatness. And to me, fear is the sin because it dims the light of God that wants to express itself through us. That to me is sin. Which takes away the normal definition of what you think sin is, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
So
look at these
what
probing
about you?
questions.
What about
Gosh,
you?
what am I afraid
Do you
of?
want to answer it?
What am I afraid of?
What are you most? I mean, you don't have to be a fear or like spider or something like that, but just what is your what? Sometimes things resonate with us over a period of time, off and on, and then it's like, gosh, I can't believe I did that because I was always scared of that, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, what is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear. Gosh, I really have to think.
It's okay.
So, like,
I've given you plenty of time.
Yeah. What is my biggest fear? Not having the support system that I need daily.
Oh.
Okay, that's.
Because
That's
it's hard.
understandable.
It's hard being on your own. I've been on my own
So-
since I was 18.
So define support system, because that can be a lot of things. You know, that can be like, you know, somebody's reaching out to you, always having somebody that you can, you know, or are you talking about like, you know, maybe if you
People
need
showing
like
up every show.
a tank of gas,
You
or
know,
like,
that
what
kind of
is
support.
what is support to you? Like,
My
define that.
support is, you know, somebody to talk to daily.
Mm-hmm.
You know what
I
I'm
can be that
saying?
person too.
Yeah, definitely, 100%. But like, you know, what if something happens and everybody that you do know disappears? Who are you going to talk to? Yourself.
Oh gosh, I don't know how to answer that. But I mean, my thing is,
But that would be my fear. Like waking up one day and all my friends gone. Everybody that I've known gone. You know? And
What is
you
that?
know,
What is that triggering for you? Like, what is that remind? Is that something?
well, I've been, you know, yes, I've had family ever since I was 18. I still have family now, but, you know, you make your own family. But when I was living in my home and everything, I was always alone. I've always had to build myself up. I've always had to, you know, I've been beat. I've been, you know, abused wrongly. I've gone through a lot, but I've always built myself up. But now that I've been able to have friends here in Huntsville, you know, I've made friends in other places, but they never stuck. But I know that I have really good friends here. But like if they were to leave, you know, all I have is my dog. But what happens when my dog goes, you know? So I always, you know, that's my fear of not having, or, you know, a support system. Somebody to tell you that you're doing a great job, or like I do other people. Because there's a lot of people that are in dark places, but when you shine that light in that darkness and you make somebody happy, that's all I live for daily.
I don't know if you ever heard it, but Byron Katie's The Work.
The what?
Byron Katie's, it's called The Work. It's all over you.
Well,
So it's,
you know, I will go look.
yeah, so it's just some very basic things like asking yourself, is that true?
Or is it something I told myself?
Yeah.
The inner saboteur.
Yeah, there's some very, like, she has like 3 or 4 very simple questions that you have to ask yourself, and then just kind of go through it. And that lets you know the core, Because like I was saying earlier, when you have a fear of something, it's never this. It's never right now.
Right.
It's always from.
Yeah.
And if you can look at that, then you can heal it, and then you start having less and less, and you start understanding how supported you really are in every moment. And Tierra and I can tell you, and honestly, we can tell you, we are your support system. But you know, I mean, I'm only going to be here for another 60 or 70 years. And then
I've
I'm
got
gonna
about
be
4
gone.
summers left. So. I'm joking. No, I got a long time. But I know that when you
Face
get
crack.
when you get
Oh
older,
no, we're getting
I'll still
frozen.
know
There's,
Yeah,
that,
yeah.
there's that trip to Thailand.
Yeah.
Just for that refreshment.
Or Bogota.
A Bugatti?
But we ate that too. I'm not ashamed to try it. But the next question is like, what is the one thing that you are afraid or you are excited about? It's the one thing you've never told anybody. But you really feel like you might want to sometimes, but you don't because, you know, people don't accept information from people as well.
Mhm.
But what is that thing that, you know, makes sense? Something you've got that's deep down. Even if you don't want to speak it, just say, yeah, I've got it, but girl, what are you talking about today? I can answer that
So,
question
okay,
while y'all
okay.
are thinking.
A lot
For
of things
me,
coming to mind, and that's not sure which.
for me, it was I didn't want people to know what kind of rough childhood I had.
Oh.
So I kept that in secret
Oh.
till I was 49 years old.
Wow.
And I went to my first psychiatrist appointment and lost it. I'm surprised they didn't admit me, you know, because when I got there talking, that she was in tears. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry I took up all this time. You know, you only have 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's time to go. But that was the one thing that I always wanted to hide. That my childhood wasn't rich and wonderful and had the 2-story home. It was like the opposite. You know, I was very poor. Had no, you know, it's just the bare minimum of things. And I was so ashamed of that. You know, isn't that the silliest little thing?
No, of course it's
but
not.
it's just something I held on to for years.
Mm.
You know, and it was just up until recently I decided to talk about a lot of other things, you know.
Mm.
But yeah,
We all go through different things, and you know the struggle is really real with different lives that people have lived in. So you know what you went through is probably the hardest thing, you know. But when you're telling other people, it may be like, oh, it's not that bad, but it really was.
oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, and I guess me telling the story isn't for people. It's different now because when I tell the story, I don't want you to go, "Oh my God, I feel so sorry for you."
no, you want to say, I'm proud of you.
Yes, I
that
want
you
you
made
to
it through.
see that resilience is real.
Mm.
Because my friend in Chicago asked me yesterday. He says, "What happened at Gay Pride?" He already knew because he read my post, and I told him blah 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 blah. And he said, "You know what?" He said, "You're the most resilient person I've ever met." Because by the next morning, I'd already had a photo shoot and taking pictures and doing all this stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it's just a matter of not stepping in it and staying in it.
That's suffering. So there's
Yes.
a difference between pain and suffering.
Ooh, you said it, Mount. That is so true.
Difference
Would you
between
leave
pain
a
and
piece of bubble gum on the bottom of your shoe if you stepped in it?
Do I know?
No, I'm saying like, would you?
I don't think so.
Would you leave a piece of bubble gum on the bottom of your shoe? You wouldn't step in it and stay in it, right?
No, I'd like to get it off.
No, there you go. Get that thing off real quick.
Kill me.
Scott.
So you think you got an answer?
Well, I mean, mine's kind of, so I've been very transparent about my past and childhood. You know what I mean? Just because I want people to advance quicker than I took me, right?
Yeah,
I want people to enjoy. For me, I feel like there's this constant play, you know, between like I would love to like walk out there with some Elton John sunglasses and a big boa, and then part of me likes the more demure. So I'm constantly having that, and I would love to act, and I would love to be. So this is what shocked me after we watched the movie Bros. The character played by Billy Eichner, he was told that he was flamboyant. And so, and I didn't really think he was flamboyant because he doesn't like wear colorful.
Yeah.
So I asked Joe, my husband, I said, am I flamboyant? And he said, yes. And I'm like, I'm flamboyant? But I mean, I don't, it's like I don't have like this. I don't have like the sequin.
Yeah.
Like I
You
guess
don't have
that's
what
what
you
I
pictured that to be.
That's what I don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and I want to become even more like out there, which is a fear for me, because I want to give allowance for other people to let their freak flag front. Like I have my car is gray. Nowhere on there does it say anything about equality or gay pride. Like there is nothing on my
I don't
car.
have anything on mine either.
Because I have
Mine
this
either.
fear. And even like walking down the street holding my husband's hand sometimes
Scary.
is scary.
Mhm.
So that would be like what I would like to really challenge myself. And I am, because I've told you that
Yeah.
there's some things I'll be wearing in the coming week that are different for me.
Yeah.
And it's a big thing for
I
me.
love that you're embracing that.
Yeah, and it's not. I mean, I'm not in any type of transition, but I love that. I love that when you see like these beautiful masculine men and they're wearing like high heels and stuff.
I like it.
That
too.
is
hot.
It's very, very, very cool.
For me, it's almost sexy.
Yeah.
You
Well, it's
know?
sexy that their confidence.
Yes, and it's just
They're-
it's just
Like
They're
Kazaki, there's a guy group called Kazaki, and they're from on the other side of the world, but they literally dance in high heels and really
I've
really
heard them,
extravagant.
but I don't know the name of that.
Kazaki.
Kazaki.
I was gonna say, so I bought these sets, like the tank top brief sets, right?
Uh-huh.
And the first day I walked out of the shower. Well, no, they're separate.
Okay.
But they're like colored like green and pink and things like that. So the first time I walked out of the shower at the gym, I like had a towel on because I was like scared to,
Yeah.
and I don't want to be scared anymore. You know what I mean?
Why? I get
And the
it.
first time I was at the gym and I realized my toenails were painted,
Okay.
and I was like, because you're around all these rugby players. Like I go to
Oh, yeah.
I go to that kind of gym.
Go to like an Iron Tribe or something.
Yeah, powerhouse. Yeah,
Okay.
is where I go. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
Never had any trouble, but it's just kind of
Yeah.
That's what I'm wanting to challenge myself
Okay.
to do.
I always wanted to get in like drag, like big hair, big lashes, everything, and go to the gym.
Yes,
sounds so hot.
you should.
And get
That
on the
sounds so
elliptical
hot.
or the treadmill and have someone take pictures of me and everything. I've always wanted, and the people that Planet Fitness in Madison are very, as a matter of fact, a lot of people work there are family.
Wow.
Yeah, I thought.
I just want to dress up like a robber with bags and everything and go to the gym and like do the stepper, do it really slow, and like freak people.
I thought it was so cool.
And then like
so many
do like this with it. What?
There's so many gay people at that gym. I love it, and I mean, I go in thinking I'm going in and do my thing. I'm not going to look at nobody and try to draw any attention. But then again, I'm up here walking on the treadmill as high as I can, holding on, going, "You think he's gay? You think he's gay?" And I met a guy that I thought was gay at Pride. He was at Pride, and he's a friend, another friend of mine's gym buddy. And I had no idea. I thought he was, but now it's kind of like it's funny how things reappear and the truth is revealed, or I don't know, just a mystery. But you want one more question?
Sure, I'll take it. I was thinking.
Okay.
You got another one for us?
Yeah, I can come up with several.
Oh my,
questions.
let's do this.
I love question and answer now.
Do you?
Mhm.
Okay.
I love a little smile.
But I would have to say for mine though, it would be my biggest fear. Okay, this is really my biggest fear. Is my dad finding out that I do drag.
Okay.
That is
That's legit,
honestly my biggest fear.
Now, he knows you're gay.
He
Okay.
does, and it was an issue.
Okay.
I reminded him of my mom a lot of the time too, so there was a lot of tension when I was little, which caused me to go into foster care. So from foster care and being by myself there, you learn to build yourself up every single day. So then I went back to my dad, and it was like the house of horrors. I ate the side of I ate pieces of my bed. Like I ate my bed of pieces of wood. Like I have writing. Like I have a paper that was sent to the judge that said all that. Like it was crazy. Like there's 4 pages of it. But anyways, you go through a lot of shit sometimes. But you got to be nice to everybody that you meet because you never know what they've been through.
You don't know their story.
No.
And that's something that is really important.
So is your fear, is it based upon like being cut off from the family? Is it like some type of...
It's like the black sheep of the family. I'm the black sheep,
Do you have abandonment issues?
I believe so.
Like what happens?
Yeah.
What happens if he completely abandons you? Like what happens?
Like, I just don't feel like I'm a part of the family as it is now, but, like, I have brothers and sisters that I don't even know.
Mm.
Like, it's
You're
bad.
gay? They all know you're gay. They just don't know.
Oh, they
you're
don't
straight.
know who I am.
Oh,
Wow.
well,
That's
no,
the thing.
Yes, yes.
So they're very protected. They're young, so they're very protective. Like when me and my dad would hang out when we went to Birmingham to the little statue guy that does like this.
The Vulcan?
The Vulcan, love it. I heard my brother talk for the first time, and I really couldn't say anything because if I did, my dad would have gotten mad. Like it's stupid stuff like that.
What
But
happens if he gets mad?
I don't know. But back in the day, I was terrified of my dad. Like I ran away from the house,
Mm-hmm.
and then.
And I'm not saying it's not I'm not saying it's
Yeah.
invalid
Yeah.
Right.
at all
Yeah.
at any point. I'm just asking you what if? What does that look like? What what I mean?
I would not be talked to probably ever again, which is fine because I don't get talked to anyways. But it's
yeah, at
just
the end of the day,
that
what are you really losing? What
Yeah,
risk
yeah.
are you
I'm not really
losing?
losing anything. It's just it's
different
your
that sounds
family.
Yeah,
It's
and,
just
and,
hard.
and let me also
I
say, because I don't want anybody, you don't have to tell anybody. Like it's your right to tell
Right,
anybody.
right.
But if it's any fear that we have holds us back in some way, right?
Mhm.
So I'm thinking of you, as far as you and your life and what you can do, what's possible for you, because you could end up being on RuPaul's, and in the back of your head is,
Oh,
if
God,
my
my
dad finds
dad
out,
watches this show.
and that's gonna affect how you present yourself. It's gonna
Right.
affect. You know what I mean? So I want you to be the
But like I
best
would be
version.
I will be the best version of myself because I want people, definitely our young generation, to come from nothing and be something that they know they can be, and know that it's okay to be able to go through things and step up from being knocked down, I guess you could say. Our community is all about love, and we need to come together and be unity.
No.
Because then community is unity.
Yep.
Will you be my little brother that I say suggestive things to all the time?
Yes.
I'm down, Brandon. If you're watching this, there's your other brother. You know Brandon.
Yes.
Brandon's
Yes,
adorable.
bless us. He's been
Brandon.
so helpful.
He is
Brandon
so cute.
James. He's been so helpful to me. Brandon.
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 Yes.
The one that helps me all the
Yes,
time.
yes. Oh my God, don't tell. Well, I'm so sorry, Brandon.
She's famous. What can she
Yeah,
say?
I have a lot of bad memories of his hair.
But no, Brandon's been so great to me
Aw.
being here. He will tell everybody the first time I met him was at, he was already Facebook friends with me, but we were at Maggie Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Love that place. It's really cool, but once you leave there, you smell like cigarettes.
That's the one thing. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
But there's washing machines, dryers. You're okay.
Well,
Yeah,
So
I may need a sinus.
But he
rinse.
came up and gave me a hug, and I was like, I don't even know who you are. I was really, really, really rude to him, but I was not being rude to him. It was just like, I don't know who you are,
Yeah.
but hi, how are you? And I guess he thought that I was a cunt.
Yeah.
well, I'm really big on permission, and that's one thing you learn when you go to like retreat, like the one it's all about, like they even have like different colors of bands that you
Okay.
wear. You're depending on, don't want to be touched,
Mhm.
ask me first, or I'm
Comment
open.
on it.
And
I
guess
know.
which one I was, by the way.
Yeah, green all over.
You had them on your ankles, too.
How many of these can I have?
I have one on my ankles too, because that's probably what you see all the
Probably
time.
have to put it right here.
But
Yeah.
that's really important for people, because people have different space issues or different space. I don't know what the word would be. Do you understand what I'm
I
saying?
get, yeah.
So
But just my piece of advice or my words of wisdom is if they're not celebrating you, they're just tolerating you.
Right.
I got time.
And that's what I've
That's why I
learned.
left a certain company. I left.
I got you.
And that's what I've
They were,
learned.
they were
wondering,
tolerating,
okay.
not celebrating.
Yes. And that's where I am with some family members, I'm just, it's okay if you don't. I'd really hate to be that miserable that you could look at your sister or your cousin, whatever they are.
Man, are they missing out?
Oh my God!
Oh,
That's
amazing.
Oh, I can't. Oh, it's gonna be something when they just find out that they've been living with a movie star the whole time.
Movie star. And so humble about it, too.
Just, I mean, you know. But yeah, I always think the same thing about my family. I always worry about my mom's been to my shows. My sisters have. My brother-in-law is actually really, he's carried my luggage. I have a lot of family that's been there. But to be a consistent support system is where it's lacking.
Yes.
But then I just became my own support system. And now I don't do it if I don't want to. And I do it if I really love it.
You thrive whether you have family or not. And that's the best kind of person, you know. You just got to be a chameleon and, you know, change.
Well, you got to be willing to change.
Yeah, willing to change.
I mean, that's me. I had to be.
But don't change yourself.
I think it's about adapting to the wisdom that you
that's
have taken in. And when you've had an experience, you have the opportunity to turn that into wisdom that you can't buy, so that becomes priceless. And then you have the ability to adapt into that wisdom and become a new person that's able to just handle anything. It's like, I've been through that. Oh, good grief. Is that all you got?
Right.
Come on.
And then you get to that.
That's like my safe word. That all you got, Daddy?
He said, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
This is all I got right here.
That's what I'm talking about.
I wanted to say this too. That
We need to talk.
Y'all can talk after a while, right? No, I want to watch. No,
I'll give you a free subscription to the
Where I get dirty. I wanted to say this too before we close out, because I think this is very important for people to understand that we're more alike than we're unlike. And that we're all striving for the same thing, really. You know, just some people are better versions of their ideas than other people are. But for me, being a child of abandonment, abuse, all those things that a lot of people went through, that person that I made it through that with was that survival girl, the girl that she got through it. But that also confused me for who I really was. Does that make sense?
Because you stayed in that
I
warrior,
yes.
that warrior
So,
stance.
Yes, and the last time I was in the old relationship I had that I almost died in, that was the house that fell on the witch. It was the house. When rock bottom had a basement, that's where I was. And I just remember that's what I thought. I was that 5-year-old girl sitting in that house, and everything I was listening to was exactly what I was told as a child. You know what I mean? My dad said the same thing that he did. So for me to be able to come through that and to pull positive from that, let's just say it was.
Can you see the voice of God recreating that, knowing that you were going to be strong enough
now
and
I
bring
can,
such wisdom to the world and help change so much
yeah.
through that?
I would
that
have
you had
known
to
that
see it
then,
again.
but
Yeah.
now I think every little heartbreak, every little tug at your whatever, every stumble in whatever, I'm just telling you, it is all for the better. Because you will, I promise you, you will be better off in the long run. Just enjoy it.
Better and stronger and able to withstand
Yes.
anything. Yeah.
And just if people are trying
And then
to,
you get to the point where you're not even withstanding anymore, because now I'm standing in this space where I just have this presence, and no matter what, because it just is.
I get that.
You know
I
what I mean?
really understand that.
Yeah.
I really do.
I mean, your human body still has the joys and the sorrows and the whatever, but that's separate. So even when I had a real problem with when I was on a 7-mile run and I tore my meniscus, and fitness is real big because I used to be 320 pounds. So fitness is huge to me.
Right.
And it was about being able to separate my body from me. Like my body needs healing, but I don't need healing.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. I follow you.
Yeah.
That reminds me of some things I heard from Abraham Hicks.
Love Abraham Hicks.
Me too. She said,
I turned you on to her, didn't I?
You did, and I'm just.
She coming to Atlanta end of this month.
Are you going?
I was thinking about it.
I'm not.
But she comes 2 or 3 times a year. So
I want to go. That's on my bucket list.
Okay.
I really want to go and see her. And I would love to be in the hot seat. I just feel like I need that.
If you make the intention, that's what'll happen.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But she, what I learned from her was even the smallest thought of the vibration of just a thought becomes real if you keep believing it.
Mm-hmm. That's what a belief is.
That's exactly
it's a
what
thought
a
you just
belief
keep thinking.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we can change that by saying we are good enough.
Yes.
We are worthy, and we don't need approval.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, let's just have fun.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I love Huntsville because I've actually been able to live and enjoy my life and not have to worry about every single thing that I do. Like, I've done so much more in the past in this whole year than I've done ever.
And I want to say two things to you. Number one, I am so thankful that your presence is here in Huntsville.
Yeah.
I feel so blessed. And you just put your just a picture on Facebook, and it just makes me, you don't really even have any words. It's just your presence, and it just makes me smile every single time. So thank you from my heart.
You're welcome.
To you.
Yes.
That's that moment you realize that post people did see it.
Yes.
You know, and just that's chills all over.
And that's
me.
why I post that stuff, you know. It's just, you know, for myself to look back on, just in case I'm in a situation that I need it picked up from. You know, I've got my back. And then, you know, there's a lot of negativity on Facebook. It don't matter what it's about. There's always going to be negativity on Facebook. But when somebody sits there and posts something really, really nice daily, you know, it could pick up somebody.
But you know, you can snooze people. You don't have to unfriend them. You can snooze those people.
For as
You know what I mean?
long as you want.
Yeah. So you
I
have the
snooze quite a
ability.
bit lately.
In fact, I've snoozed the news. I told
Yeah.
Joe.
Yeah, I
said,
don't look at the news.
I said, you are now my news monitor because he loves it. I said, if I just need to know if the bomb's coming this way.
Yeah, let me
That's
know.
all I need to know because my Prius can handle anything.
That's right.
Come on, energy.
I just need to know.
I just love it. But I think it's been a great segment. I really
Yeah.
appreciate you for being here, Bradley. You
You're
really
welcome.
are a wonderful soul.
Thank you.
And I love you.
I love you too.
Thank you. And I thank you, Pete, for being your magical self today, too. 'Cause
Yes.
you always
I haven't
always
seen- since I've-
bringing the joy and bringing life and what's magical about it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so excited for the now and I'm just so excited for what is
It
all
feels
coming. And I'm so thankful for the part that God is going to allow me to take in that.
Mhm.
That is just, I can just see, and it's not me, it's not my
Yeah.
ego, it's just what comes, it's what's right there. So remember,
Right.
it's right there in
That's
front of
right.
you.
Yes, it
It's
is.
right there. It's not from here, it's from right there. Right?
Yeah.
And
Right?
you can help this, but don't
This
Don't
is
put
yours.
yourself in there.
This is
Yeah.
yours. You hang on to that.
Yeah,
Right.
don't be selfish a little bit, you know?
You
That's
got
when
to.
I have to
And
Because
that's going
the
to hang
Bible-
on to me so much.
Well,
by the
good,
way.
because the Bible actually
Honestly.
equates love for others from love for yourself. It says, love others as
you love
yourself. So there's an
Mhm.
assumption from God that you love yourself,
Right.
which means you better, God blessed, love yourself.
Mhm.
Yeah, and while we're talking
Right.
about that, I had to learn to appreciate what my body actually has done for me. The overweight issues, the hunger, the eating disorders, the drugs I did. My body has withstand.
And look how strong you are.
I mean,
Yeah.
I am so thankful
Right?
for this
And you're here
body.
today.
Right.
This right here.
Yeah.
My shell I used to think was so ugly.
Yeah.
And it's because it was
There are models that hate their body,
Mhm.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, we're so hung up on what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I just
I
like,
used to, like, even being on camera right now, like, it's a big
oh,
insecurity
girl,
of
we look
mine.
fine.
It's
Look
a
at
big
that.
insecurity.
I'd date all three of them.
Date all these right here.
Of course, I'm a whore, so.
I think I'm gonna have to just strive for some more numbers.
But when y'all were like, hey, I was like, hey, is that one day or what are we talking about?
But I've started to learn that you need to appreciate the way you are because
Yeah.
this is your one chance, YOLO.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
You only live once.
Yeah.
Enjoy it.
I know.
And you hear so much about even like age. I honestly think I have never looked better.
Mhm.
I honestly, when I look
Yes.
at myself, I'm like, I think I look better every single
You
day.
look better than just with the first time I met you. Not that
Yeah.
you were bad.
Yeah.
You know, but your glow is different.
Right,
You know?
right.
The color of your skin is
Yeah.
protruding through
And when I
this.
met you, I know it was at a movie theater. Of course, everybody was so
We're trying to meet
excited.
each other.
At a movie theater.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Is that triple X rated?
Is that up there above the video room? Is that what it is?
Well, we were at a movie theater.
And he passed
In
the lube.
Midtown.
He was really, really sweet, and you know, I learned a lot about gay culture in that new movie, Bros. It was like really, really cool because he was educating me.
Mhm.
I was like, you know, about all sorts of different things. I don't want to go into it, but it was about our gay community and where, you know, of where, you know, the first gay couple was.
Oh, so from the first documented,
Yeah,
is from
It's
Egypt.
crazy.
I want to say it's 3500 BC. It was basically it was like a hairdresser and I think somebody that did
Mhm.
makeup, and the way that they were
because they had to do
positioned-
makeup on
Yeah.
Egyptians.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
they were
Right.
positioned in their tomb together in a way a couple would be.
Mhm.
Like they were facing each other. I can't remember the name because it's a very, very long name. You know what I mean? But what you really have to look for in history is because they couldn't just come right out and say homosexual or gay.
Mhm.
So there would
Yeah.
be euphemisms for them, like the lifelong bachelor, or there's actually a biblical term. I forget what it starts with an A. It's about this brotherhood that goes beyond just being a friend. It's like and there are very famous couples in the Bible, both male and female, that seem very chummy.
Okay.
And even in the movie, it alludes to Abraham Lincoln, who had two different friends that he would sleep in the same bed with. Now, this is after he had become a famous lawyer and stuff like
Mhm.
that. If you were just a friend of somebody, you would get your own bed.
Yeah.
Like even me with my husband, sometimes I want my own bed.
Yeah, especially if you're not in a relationship with them,
Mhm.
I would definitely.
Yeah,
want that.
so and you only spend decades with somebody in their same bed if you were most likely intimate. So we can make a lot of suppositions about,
Mhm.
and I think we're right to. It's not like we're outing afterwards, but I'm sorry. It's time. I think it's time to honor who he was, and maybe even the possibilities it could have been for him if he could have been president and been outwardly gay.
Right.
You know?
Do you know that Kevin Costner was backing? Oh gosh, I just lost my train. It was Buttigieg. What's his name? The one that was running for president last time, the gay guy.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah, Peter. I was trying to think of his. I can't pronounce it.
And he is, if you listen to his word, he is so in his own presence, and he is so in his own truth. And that's one of the most amazing things about this Masters I'm going through is I'm finding out that everything from either the New or the Old Testament is so just reconstituted and not written by who they said it was written by, and not written at the time it was. And what it did is it destroyed my faith.
Mm-hmm.
But it allowed me to rebuild my faith on what I know is true.
Mhm.
And
Gotcha.
that you can't knock. And you can see that in Peter. Buttigieg, I think is his name.
Buttigieg.
Yeah, whatever his
Yeah.
name. But you can see that presence of truth in him, of like he just takes his time. He
Oh,
doesn't
very
react
calm,
from
yeah.
fear. Because he's like, I'm going to come with this with truth and love. And that's just what he does. And that's,
Amazing.
that you can't, you're like, no.
Kevin Costner really believed him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was hanging out with him and everything, you know.
Cool.
So I thought,
And Kevin's kind of,
what's Kevin got going on?
you know.
Mhm.
You out there?
Yeah. I might hug in my hand might go down too far.
Well,
Just
I'm a
saying.
star down there. You know? That way, I can't wait till I get up. You
Well,
know?
I'm a gentleman, so I might
Yes,
as well start here.
such a lady.
I love your shoes. Oh, you got your hair done.
Yes, but I really do appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all for sticking with us out there and
Yeah.
It
The
got me
land
out
of
of my
Facebook.
shyness too.
Good.
A little
Well, you
bit.
can be here as much
And
as
you're
you want.
welcome for getting him out. You're welcome.
But we really do thank you so much, and we appreciate it. We'll be back. I think next week I've got another guest. Austin
Oh.
St. James will be here with
Oh,
us.
all right.
So he'll
Okay.
be here, and then I've got the Same Love Production, the one I'm involved with. They're wanting to be on the show.
Okay.
So it's like all of a sudden people are.
And that's part of it, even like with this presence, things come in waves, and it's just be okay with
Yeah.
riding that wave, and when it happens, it's time.
Yes.
It's time.
So that's where we are. I feel that
Yeah.
great things are coming.
In fact, there's an interesting book called Power versus Force.
Who you have?
Well,
Oh, who's the
it's
author?
I can't remember, but you can find it on you can find it on Audible,
Okay.
and you can also find it like on eBay.
I do like reading that.
But it's talking about if you're pushing or if you're pulling something. You know what I mean? It's
Yes,
the
I do.
difference between the two, and which one's more powerful, and which one comes more naturally, and which one actually steals your energy from you, and which one you can just
Wow.
tap into that universal energy with.
And just when you think you figured it out.
Oh yeah, there's always another level. But anyway.
Yeah, but anyway,
that's-
we thank y'all. Anything else you need to say?
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome,
I'm
honey.
really appreciative.
Oh,
We love y'all and we thank you for so much. And remember, we'll be on iTunes. We're on iTunes too.
And I'm possibly looking for a boyfriend. Maybe
Yeah,
not. Who
and
knows?
I'm single and ready to mingle, so holler at me, boy. I love y'all. Y'all be kind to one another. See you
Yes.
next time.
Bye.